Stories of near-death experiences often describe a fleeting glimpse of a peaceful void before medical intervention pulls the patient back. But these accounts are limited by definition. The patient survives. In every other circumstance, biological death is a final, one-way trip. This concept centers on the silver cord, a theoretical tether of energy connecting the physical body to the energy body. At the moment of true death, this cord snaps and permanently dissolves, leaving the physical form behind forever. Because this connection is impossible to reattach, the living generally assume that no one can ever report back from the other side. Researchers at the organization Seek Reality, however, argue that this assumption is contradicted by a massive volume of documented evidence. They have assembled an archive that moves beyond anecdote, consisting of mid-century audio recordings, sworn courtroom testimony, and formal reports from credentialed scientists. If this archive holds up to scrutiny, the human cold case of death requires a fresh investigation, one based on raw, documented records rather than religious tradition. The investigation begins with the mid-century archives of Leslie Flint, a British direct voice medium. Flint utilized vintage tape reels and specialized audio equipment, like the ones pictured here, to document his sessions. Flint's sessions relied on a specific mechanical claim, ectoplasm. This was a physical substance supposedly drawn from the medium's body to form a functional anatomical voice box in midair, allowing deceased individuals to speak with their own vocal cords. Among the recordings is the account of Alf Pritchett, a British soldier. This image shows the type of devastating battlefield explosion that destroyed Pritchett's physical body in 1918. Recorded in 1960, the voice on the tape speaks in a thick English accent, detailing an arrival in a sensory-rich environment. Pritchett describes a street square with fountains and blossom trees, a reunion with a sister who died as an infant, and the sound of magnificent instrumental music. These recordings extend to other long-term cases, such as Professor Dinshaw Nanji, a biochemistry expert from the University of Birmingham. Over several years, Nanji recorded regular, lucid conversations with his deceased wife, Annie, who appeared to retain her full mental faculties and memory. These records portray the afterlife as a dynamic environment where human personality and sensory awareness remain intact long after the death of the physical body. Beyond audio archives, the investigation moves into the legal record. This is the Old Bailey in London, site of the 1944 trial of Helen Duncan, a materialization medium claiming to manifest spirits in physical form. The British government prosecuted Duncan under an archaic witchcraft act to silence her after spirits in her sessions began revealing highly classified military secrets. They detailed the sinking of the battleship pictured here, the HMS Barham, well before the loss was made public. During the trial, dozens of everyday citizens took the stand under oath. These witnesses, under intense public and legal scrutiny, provided sworn testimony regarding their physical encounters during Duncan's seances. Witnesses like James McDougall Duncan and Margaret Lyons provided hyper-specific, multisensory evidence. They testified under oath to touching their loved ones, recognizing unique features like a broken nose or a contracted wee finger, and even feeling the bristly, unshaven hair on a manifested spirit's face. In any standard legal proceeding, this volume of corroborating eyewitness testimony is considered a valid proof of an event, forcing a confrontation with the physical reality of these manifestations. While historic trials and audio anomalies are often debated, the archive also contains accounts from elite observers who were not seeking out mediums or spiritualist circles. This is Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a world-renowned psychiatrist and an expert on the process of dying. She reported a startling encounter in her office with a former patient named Mrs. Schwartz, who had been dead and buried for nearly 2 years. Dr. Kubler-Ross attempted to verify the reality of the visit by asking the spirit for a physical artifact. She witnessed the figure take a piece of paper and leave a signed, handwritten note before departing. Bible translator and theologian J.B. Phillips reported a similar spontaneous visitation. He claimed that the late author C.S. Lewis, pictured here, appeared in his room while he was watching television, glowing with health, and spoke words directly relevant to a personal crisis Phillips was facing. This pattern of unprompted visitation is echoed by psychologist and physician Dr. Raymond Moody. He described a lengthy conversation with his deceased grandmother, who provided highly specific childhood information known only to the two of them. When trained psychiatrists and psychologists, professionals skilled in identifying hallucinations, report identical, interactive physical encounters, the phenomenon requires serious scientific inquiry. Synthesis of the audio recordings, legal transcripts, and expert accounts reveals a consistent picture. The afterlife functions as an active, structured reality. These accounts describe a societal structure where specific realms are organized based on the character and actions of the individual, a harvest sown during their time on Earth. The records also suggest a synchronization between the two realms. Spirits report celebrating Earth holidays like Christmas and Easter as significant birthdays, the first marking an entry into the physical world, and the second a birth into the spirit world. This aligns with modern concepts like quantum consciousness, supported by educators like Philippe Brouillard. This framework suggests that human awareness exists independently of the brain. In this vast, non-local quantum field, individual nodes of consciousness are free to move beyond the constraints of a physical body. Viewed through the lens of legal testimony, audio evidence, or quantum physics, the message remains the same. Physical death is a transition of state. The silver cord may dissolve, but our consciousness and our connection to those we love remains.